Hey guys, Robert and Ingrid here as we're going over, we said we were going to do it, Scott Pilgrim takes off. And brief summary and question is asked, give a brief summary. What did you think overall? Without spoilers yet.
I feel like this was a really unique way to take obviously what we know or what a lot of people would know from just the movie adaptation and throw in a twist to it that feels like, okay, now I'm getting to see a lot of the same characters, but in like really wildly different scenarios, but it still feels like the same world in a lot of ways. And I really like how it got to show a lot more sides to the characters and also a lot more variety to the action.
Exactly. Now I'll say this, the voice cast, great, best. Anyone that had issues, you might have had issues with them originally, not here.
And it feels so much more natural as a cartoon. It just does.
I will say this though, since we are right here, I did not care for how Walls was written. He was more of a dick. Did you realize that?
I'm not going to argue.
And this is before the changes. This is before the changes. Yet he's being written off as a complete utter asshole. It's basically like, get out. Like, I want you out of my house. It's like, what? That's not how he was in the comics. That's not how he was in the show or in the movie. Why is he being that way here? Again, that's the only thing that doesn't have the excuse of, oh, it's because of the changes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But again, I do like how we get a nice summary of everything. And Mary Elizabeth, not Mary Elizabeth. I got to double check the cast. I'm mixing up names.
I'm bad at keeping names straight.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I thought she was so much better here as Ramona, and as Ramona here than she was.
Yeah.
Because she was, I loved her. She was the best part of the movie, but she was colder. Did you notice that, right? She was definitely colder.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I do
trying too hard to project that persona of hers, whereas here you get to spend a lot more time with her. I realize she's just like a complicated human being, like everybody.
I do like them changing from Amazon to Netflix. Cute. But especially back in the days that this is supposed to be set in, that was when Amazon and Netflix was doing the deliveries.
Oh yeah, when you could get Netflix on a CD, DVD, whatever.
But I didn't mind that change and everything. And again, I do like the characterizations here. But okay, obviously we have the big twist. Well, first of all, I also like this how we actually get more with the evil exes.
Oh yeah, before they were just kind of boss enemies, but here we get to understand them more as actual.
They're like the Legion of Doom. They're like the Legion of Doom.
Yes, they are, and we get to see a lot more of their internal politics. And I gotta say that they made Matthew Patel so much stronger and so much more interesting in this one as a character.
Exactly.
It kind of was a one-note nothing to me in the actual movie.
He actually was, but the actor did a great job.
Oh yeah, I can usually tell when an actor is having a lot of fun in a booth, and his actor had a lot of fun with it.
It's very like, I get to do more than just show up and then get killed. Yes, please.
Oh yeah, it's just like hell yeah.
Here's the one thing.
Dance.
Now I was it. Getting out of the way, since it's the point, but what I was to say is, yeah, if there's one character who got the short end of the shift, even more so here than even in the movie, was Stacy, the sister. She had even less to do here. I'm glad they had Anna Kendrick back on, but it's like, she barely only had like a handful of scenes throughout the whole series.
Unfortunate.
But yeah, basically, we get the twist. Like, Alec KO? Like, he won.
Like, and that feels like the perfect place to throw in a twist to the narrative, too. Like, it's just enough of the original setup to get you comfortable and not thinking too much about it, and then they just go ahead and yank out the rug from under you.
Now, here's the question I gotta ask. The outrage people had, because I will say this, would you agree subverting expectation has been overdone and mishandled too much in the past decade?
I feel like there's a lot of people that mistook like
Oh no.
surprising people with being good writing when in fact no, it's paying off on expectations that
Oh yeah.
it's set up appropriately, and sometimes that can be in a very curveball sort of way.
Oh, and I agree with that. I agree with that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut. I would just say, but what I'm saying, my point I'm trying to make is, but you can see why some were outraged at this because now, and I look at this as this is one of the exceptions, but it has been overdone. This subverting expectation by putting a twist that, the twist of, that, takes things in a different direction has been mishandled with people who want to be like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. Oh, we're swerving on you. And then they kind of get heavy handed with it. That's a need today here. I'm talking about other examples, like Last Jedi, for example.
Yes, I understand the sort of fatigue with that, and I feel like a lot of that is kind of born out of a general internet environment of bad faith criticism that basically says, "Oh, I can pick up on the various clues that the author is laying down and predict what's going to happen."
Yep.
Therefore, writing is bad when oftentimes the surprise can come more in the actual execution of the thing. Like,
Exactly.
something in recent memory I can think of as a good example of this is, well, one of the James Bond movies where
Yep.
it's like,
No Time to Die, right?
I was
Oh no, which one then? Oh, Spectre. Was it Spectre?
I'm not that far yet. I'm thinking of the movie where we had Mrs. Bond. The name is
On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yes.
Oh yeah, On Her Majesty's Secret
Let's
Service.
be honest, but that was in the book. That was in the book, is what I was saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's just like I could, without knowing anything about it, I could see what was gonna happen at the end coming from a mile away, but that didn't make it hurt any less, but because of how they executed it.
We had all the time in the world. That was great.
Like, to some degree, good writing should be predictable.
Yes.
And it's just unfortunate in a case where it's just like,
yeah.
it's just like where shock value is kind of substituted for.
So I get their outrage here, but I feel
I
this.
understand the knee-jerk reaction here. It's
especially when the
legitimate given
advertisement.
climate, but this is one of the rare exceptions where
Exactly.
they actually end up using a lot of the expectations really well, because it's like it's not disregarding the original. In fact, it's building off of it in its own screwball way.
Exactly. And I thought though, Scott is still important. It's not like Ramona is she's more the lead, but the others are still important too and react to it. Like I say, with Matthew Patel, I love it. He's expecting, oh, Ramona, you'll be with me now. Nope.
It's like, wait, you're not? What the fuck, man?
And then when he goes to Gideon, and Gideon is like, no, the whole point of it was to get it back for me. It's like, what? It's like, the fact he was so arrogant. Oh, I gotta say, what do you think about every time we kept seeing her dye her hair every episode?
I feel like that was a fun little gag that fit her personality really well.
Oh, Brie Larson, she nailed it in here. Now, Grant, she did not do the singing. I just read that up. That was not her singing. I wasn't surprised. But I gotta say, I think she did a good job, at bringing back his envy. It felt like, because we agreed, that was one of her better roles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what do you think about Envy having the gall to just turn his funeral into like a mini concert? It's like, of course she would.
You know what? That feels perfectly in character for her.
Yep. Oh, and I love how nice. It's like, my favorite band. I thought we were your favorite band. Yeah, you're just my favorite. It's just like, I love her trying to, like, Crocs. I still have my Crocs, but I just wear them as slippers because they're the ones with the cushions in it.
Ah.
Oh, but Gideon, team Jason Schwartzman was definitely also one of the highlights of the movie, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Especially how they handled him compared to the book, where it's like, hey, Scott, no hard feelings, right? Right. I love that. He just plays this whole like, Hey, we're cool, right? Right. You know, that type of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the fact that in the casket, it's just his change. It's like that's all that's left of him. But this does fly in the face of one thing. You know what was actually revealed by Brian Lee O'Malley? When they were defeated, they're not dead. They were actually sent back where they lived and decided to go move on with their lives. So the fact they're treating like he's dead here, you're like, wait, what? It both works and yet doesn't work. But Lucas, Lee, and Todd, having these two interact, and again,
Oh, that was fun.
Chris Evans and Brandon Rouse, again, all the actors were great.
Mm-hmm.
Up the robot.
The robot.
I loved him. They didn't have much lines, but Matthew deciding to fight back, fight Gideon, challenge him to a fight, and he wins.
Mm-hmm.
Because it reminds you how dangerous he was. He was just, the way I see it is, he lost to Scott because he was overconfident.
Mm-hmm.
Because as they said, Scott was the best fighter in the area.
So they thought, oh, well, if it's not him, then I don't have to try.
Exactly. But so I think that shows that he was probably better than Gideon from the beginning, but obviously he was the first one taken out.
Mm-hmm.
I love how everyone respects him, and yet basically Gideon's now like he has nothing. He lost everything. He built too much into it all. But yeah, the fact that then she sensed he's still alive, I like that. And again, just seeing that fallout.
Mm-hmm. And then it changes from let's take down the evil exes to which of the evil exes
Who did it? It was a whodunit.
Yes, and Ramona's the detective.
Exactly. Hold on. Oh, and again, more with her hair. Oh, what did you think about Julie getting a bigger role? Remember she was the one that miscursed a lot in the movie?
Oh yeah, it was cool seeing a lot more of her.
Yeah, Aubrey Plaza really sold it here. It was so great to find out so much more about. But I love it how with Scott gone, you feel like now we can be best friends, right? What? You're still focused on him? What the hell?
Oh,
I love that. She's basically it's like tells you she's the one who needs friends more than anything. She might be the in person, but she's been such a royal bitch. No one lasts long around her.
Mm-hmm.
Except for, well, we'll get to that in a moment. But again, she's just all like, oh, what the hell? But oh yeah, ask, could you give me the names and everything? So yeah, she gives her the names of Scott's exes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what did you think about Knives joining up with the band? And actually turns out she's a fast learner and picks up the bass fast.
I can believe that.
Yeah, and I also like the stuff with her and Steven. Steven Stills. I like the actual like big brother, little sister kind of vibe they get. You know what I mean? When she, like the mentoring.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yep. Oh, they summarize Kim's past and everything. Roxy. What did you think about the stuff with Roxy here?
Oh, that was great.
So yeah, Roxy like a hurricane. Which remember, we didn't get basically. It all derailed after the first one. So now things are going completely off the rails here. And so Roxy feels like if I can't have it, because she's the one who got screwed over the worst.
Yeah.
She even said, you left.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even say goodbye or anything. It's like, Jesus. To be fair, yeah, we never got an explanation to how it ended. We just know calling her a has-been and all that. That's always been one of my favorite Roxy lines, has-been. But But yeah, I just really like it. Yeah, this was a great fight just between the two. I'm like, this was a fight out of all of the fights with her exes. This is the one that needed to happen.
Yeah, this is the one that needed to happen the most. They have really got that right.
Yeah, because out of all of them, again, Roxy was clearly, even look back at the movie, she took it the most personal.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you just got ghosted with no one explaining anything to you,
and then she's back to guys, and then she goes back to guys too to add more insult to injury.
Yeah, I mean, that would sting pretty bad.
Yeah, so they decide, let's be friends. Let's try being friends again. I love it. With benefits? No. Worth a shot. I love that. He's dead, Ramona. He's not dead. Oh, but what do you think about the fact that I do like her and Kim try? Because, hey, technically Kim, when drunk, kissed knives. I love when the two of them were like, no sparks. What about Rox? The fact that Rox is so desperate to be like, what about her? It's like, Rox, don't be expecting someone just find it feels like you want to screw every girl in town just to find the right one with a spark. but they make it funny though, and I'd be like, it's time for you to leave. Oh, but yep, time to go check in on Lucas. That was the other thing. Oh, but then, wait, this was the one that floored me the most. Gideon and Julie knew each other? That was the big twist. How did you react to that?
About like that.
Yeah, like, what? The fact that they turned out Gideon's name is Gordon Goose.
Well, yeah, I'd want to go by a different name if that was my name.
But the other thing is, people always thought because of how he looked similar to the guy in Kim's flashbacks, that he was actually that bully and changed his name. But nope, completely different. But having a history with Julie, that was the twist. You're like, wait, seriously? You know what I mean? That was just like, what?
Yeah.
But when you see it, it makes sense.
It does. It's just
who
like,
else?
what?
Who else? Yeah, who else would he'd be able to connect to out of all the other casts? Julie's the only one.
Could have been.
Yeah, not Kim, not anyone. Definitely not Stacy. But what do you think also about Lucas being such a prima donna that it turns out he's barely getting roles? The fact that he's just been so like, I don't need to read the script, things like that. It's just like, and yeah, I love his agent. She's like, why am I taking him on?
Yeah.
Again, I thought, again, this is where we're introduced to the subplot. Someone's making a movie of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact it was, yep.
Feels very appropriately meta.
And the fact that Envy's the one who's cast as Ramona, it's like, I don't blame her for being pissed. I do not blame her for being pissed off at all.
Yeah.
And then the fact that Lucas is being Scott, but he doesn't know how to act like Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Gross. Oh, but what
kind of has himbo energy to me.
Also, I would say Wallace, again, it doesn't feel like this is how he'd be the type of person who'd be like, oh, it's just sex. It's like, no, that doesn't feel like Wallace. Or maybe it was there, but I always felt like if he actually liked someone, he went it all in. Yeah, he might drop him eventually, but that might have been for other reasons. Not, oh, nope, I just wanted to bang ya. I do like him wanting to go after Lucas. We already knew that from the movie.
Yeah.
But then he's just like, oh, I got what I wanted. It's like, no, he's not going to be that emotionally manipulative. But again, I do like this whole them getting to know each other. Oh, of course, actor playing Scott Pilgrim is dating actress playing a high schooler. It's like, even though it's like, no, she's not a high schooler. She's like older than that. She's like in her 20s or whatever. But it's like the fact that the media is playing off on that one is like, that's a stretch, but not that much. Like they're assuming the actress is a high schooler when it's like, really?
Yeah, that just sounds like some intentional clickbait there, or at least some very ignorant clickbait.
The paparazzi being ninjas.
Oh, I thought that was really fun.
That was brilliant. But yeah, giving everyone closure. I do think this works so well.
Yeah, it's just like, because in real life relationships aren't really,
Yeah.
like, no one, very rarely do you find somebody that's cartoonishly evil. People are just complicated and have a lot of rough edges, and it can be really easy to tar them with a black brush, but it's just like, because it's a lot harder to work through these things than it is to just kind of rationalize it in your head and not go harder on it. And I feel like that was one thing I really liked about the show as a whole, because it dealt with these things in a way that felt like it was
but
a lot more.
But you couldn't have done with Scott in the picture. You couldn't have done it with Scott in the picture.
Yeah.
Oh, but the vegan power is allowing you to make portals.
Oh,
why not? Sure, why not? You can fly, you can shoot blast, you can punch highlights out of a girl's hair. So why not? Why not have a vegan
it's like, it's already such a poorly defined thing and a joke that it's just like, you know what? I believe it can do that too.
But
why not?
But then revealed because robots can have the vegan powers.
And it's just like, it's just like this kind of, like, it sounds dumb on its face, but it's just like, technically they've never eaten meat, so it's just like, it fits the criteria in a very strictly logical way, so.
Yep. But yeah, the stuff with Todd and Roxy was interesting. Oh, the dramatic reenactment of him punching the moon and everything. But yeah, the fact that even Todd got manipulated by Wallace, it's just like, again, and the fact that all of the Wallace's stunt doubles felt like also hurt by Wallace's attitudes. Like, again, feels like they made him more of a jerk just for the sake of the story.
Yeah. Poutine.
Yep. I would say I think this was, by comparison, the weakest of the episodes. I liked it, but I felt like Todd's handling was, because of what they had to do with Wallace to get there.
Yeah.
But having her meet up with Matthew was like, her finding, again, this is where it starts becoming more about getting the plot going. Would you agree? Like the mystery moving more so than anything.
Yeah.
But that was the weakest episode, I feel, in my opinion. It wasn't bad. It was just,
Mm-hmm.
But then we find out about Gideon living with living over there with Juliet out. Basically, I love it. I love the swerve. You think, oh, he just gave up. I do love that and how they found a way to have the closure, but at the end reveal, nope, he's still evil.
Yeah.
And it turns out everything Ramona claimed about him was true. He was putting on an act.
Yeah.
I love that. But also how we got this backstory about him and everything. And again, she's trying to feel like maybe I should just let it go and move on. But then again, when we find out like, oh no, he's just like, I planned I would get revenge on the one who took everything from me.
Ooh.
I love it how what would I say? That's hot. Again, for the fact that's not the end joke. But this is then when she realizes, oh, about the robot being the one to make the portal. But of course, that leads to them dealing with the twins, and I feel like the twins still get the short end of the ship even here. Because right as they think about going for the twins, Scott shows up.
Yeah.
Then this is where we reveal, oh, he was taken by future Scott. And it turns out future Scott's become an evil ex. But now, I should point it out, apparently Brian Lee O'Malley when he did Scott Pilgrim, it was about his fight to try and win his then wife. They've since been divorced.
Oh, now that explains a lot.
Yeah, and it feels like part of the story is done to play off of that. But one thing I gotta make very clear, and I think this is maybe even clear, even the dialogue, very briefly. This is not the definitive future.
Yeah.
This is a future where that Scott decided, I'm mad enough, I'm going to try and change history. But that doesn't mean all futures lead back to it. And I think some people have mistaken that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with it? But it's like, why would any of the other futures bother? They got a happy ending.
It's just like, if you're a happy ending, you're not trying to go back in time and change the past. It's obviously only a bad timeline that would be concerned with doing that. It's just kind of a...
Yeah. And I bet he's explaining everything that happened and all the other stuff. Oh, yeah. Happy anniversary. And the fact that he's basically gone back to being, and I do like how future Wallace puts it best. It's what happened to MB, but 11 times worse.
Yeah.
Or turned up to 11. And we realize how bad he took it with MB. You realize, shit.
It's just like, you know what? Sounds like perfectly in character for a neurotic Scott to do.
But then you find out from future Ramona, turns out it was just, I needed space.
Yes, what? And he just kind of went off the deep end.
He took it as, it's all over.
Which is like,
again,
that sounds like a kind of overreaction that I've heard in my thoughts many times about stuff, but it's like...
And they were married for years. And yet he's so quick to assume the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I also like it how it was Wallace just making a stupid joke, and future Scott took it seriously.
It's just like, yeah, no, that sounds exactly like something Scott Pilgrim we know would do.
Yep, and then now I like future Ramona's look.
I liked it a lot too.
I mean, nothing against future Scott, but just looked so raggedy.
And I mean, like, yeah, kind of washed up. I get that part, but yeah.
I love how they put time travel into her rollerblades.
You know what? That just feels appropriate.
Yep. Like, again, the fact that we're just revealed, like, again, it's like, oh no, it wasn't that bad. And it turned out she's the one who sent the script. Mm-hmm. She was trying to basically also showing she was not that much different than Scott in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, they show up. Of course, having the two Ramonas and, taking the photo and everything together. I mean, why not? Now, what do you think about how the whole knives thing getting resolved here and the whole... Apparently that's a creepy thing, which I gotta say, now, to be fair, in Canada, the age of consent, it was fine. But I think the fact that she was still in high school is what everyone feels is the squickiness. Not her age, if you take that into account, but the fact she was still in high school.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Because it's just like, okay, there's some people who manage to get into like higher education a bit earlier because years are screwy and stuff, but it's just like, yeah, I think you gotta wait until public school is done at the very least.
Yep. Although again, it feels like Knives also, again, the person who got the most was Ramona and most of the other exes, with the exception of the twins. But it does feel like so much of Scott's characters did get the short end. Oh, the fact they can't kiss each other, that was an interesting twist.
Yeah.
And they played it up very anime, like we think, oh, we gotta defeat the exes to do it. And then come the next one we find out, nope. See, look, there's Stacy's only other scene. It's like, that's it? But yeah, the world versus Scott Pilgrim. I love how they just breeze through him taking out the other exes fast. And to the point where many of them just give up.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they were ready to do it, and then future Scott is like, he takes over from what Gideon was doing.
Even older Scott.
Yep, mental health and well-being, unknown. Yeah. The fact that he just doubled down.
Yeah.
And it's just like, really? Oh, but I will say it's awesome him doing all that training, but it's just like, really? You're an idiot. He still gets hurt. But yeah, having all of them join in on the fight, that actually worked, if you ask me. It was basically...
Yeah, that was really, really cool.
Like they said, it's the world versus Scott Pilgrim.
Mm-hmm.
But then when future Ramona shows up and basically tells them off, like, wait, like, if you had just come back to me, I didn't see you for another 10 years. You want to get back? No, the ship has sailed. Like, again, he screwed up. It's his fault, not Ramona's, not anyone. He chose to double down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not even a text. A lot of people on a robot. Yeah, we go through one rough patch and you go completely insane.
Uh-huh.
But then I did think though that having the two Ramonas merge came off. That was the wonky part. Like,
that was a little silly.
But then that's where I can feel like some people complain about this being all about Ramona. That's where I can feel like they have a valid argument, because this felt made no sense. Like, what was the point?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Ramona needed it. And what did it do for her after they merged? Like, what happened? You know what I mean? That's where it just felt so like, well, like I said, what was the point?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like she even defeated him after doing it. Well, yeah, she sent him back, but other than that, it's like, you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
This is where it felt like it should have been Scott's closure, not hers. She already had her closure with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, apparently, I do like how basically scenes get back on track and even better. For example, Lucas is now working at the store and he's happy. What?
Yep.
Ramona making her hair blonde. Now there is the twist here, but apparently that was meant to be a nod to the MCU type of endings. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
You know what I mean? And that's what I understood was, because basically they wanted to keep it self-contained, and probably was a big ass. It was already a hassle up getting all of the actors and their agents to agree upon doing this in the first place. I'm not that surprised. And like I said, the ending, it was meant to be a double thing. If they did continue, they might play off of it. If they don't, it's a nod to the MCU post-credit stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. But yeah, overall, what did you think?
I thought it was really, really good. I really enjoyed my time with it.
I did too. It was a nice experiment. It was a different type of follow-up. Would they call it the definitive sequel? No. Definitely not. Knowing that's what the future is for Scott in that timeline? No. But as a follow-up, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that? Like, as a follow-up, yes, it worked. Now, again, which characters got the most? Scott got the short end. Let's be honest. Scott did get the short end by comparison. It was good. But after everything that plays out by the end, you're also like, couldn't they make it a little bit better? Would you agree with that?
I'm not going to fight you on that one.
Ramona, she shined, obviously. Matthew
Literally
Patel,
in some cases.
Yep. Matthew Patel, he did good. And I love it when he gives up everything back to Gideon. He's like, yeah, running a business? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
It was. Envy was good, but underutilized. What we got was still good. Lucas and Todd were great.
Yes.
Kim, underutilized. Knives, not as underutilized, but still underutilized to a point. Roxy, magnificent. Julie, amazing. Julie was definitely one of the best. Same with Gideon. Oh, sorry, Gordon. Wallace, probably the worst handled by comparison, because I did not like his jerkish tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
The twins, no different, no improvement, nothing worse. Stacy, short end of the shift. I have the stick. But overall, So again, it was a roller coaster. That's why I say it's not a perfect follow-up. It's not. But as a follow-up, I could think of worse.
Yeah, there's a lot of worse ways you could have done that.
I give it an 8. I give it an 8.
Yeah, an 8 feels like pretty solid.
Because there are, again, the acting was incredible. Having the original cast back was amazing. No one missed the beat. No one felt like they were phoning it in. When you have Brie Larson bringing that same energy she had before, that tells you something, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, if she was acting no different than she did as Captain Marvel, yeah. Oh, apparently Simon Pegg and Nick Frost voiced those security guards. Of course they did. And Weird Al was the documentary narrator.
Oh.
Well, I thought that voice sounded familiar.
You know what? That makes perfect sense in hindsight.
Yeah, but of course, having Simon and Nick, perfect. Having those two back. So again, overall, I'm glad for what they did. I am very glad with what they came up with. The fact this is a story that Brian wanted to tell, and he got to tell it.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, I've already made my statement. Where do you stand? Do you see it as a definitive sequel, or do you think it's just a sequel, but not the definitive one that you'd want to see?
I'm just glad it exists. I had a lot of fun time with it. I really enjoyed a lot of the animation and the music, and it's just like, even if it's not like, oh, the perfect Scott Pilgrim thing, it is still a thing that exists and that I enjoyed.
I very much agree. Very much agree. And yeah, that's all we got to say on this one. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all on the next one. Take care.